Hey babes, let me real quick show you Patrick Ta blush application. And yeah, I chose this blush today particularly because of the launch, of course. One thing is these blush duos by Patrick Ta actually are one of my favorite blush products. And I'm very excited for this launch. I think it's a useful niche product where you might argue, yes, well, you might say that you can just mix your concealer with a liquid blush formula or a cream blush and so on and so forth. But that does not always work so great. You know how it is with high pigment liquid blush formulas. You quickly overdo it and then you have a problem going on with it being too intense, too red under your eyes. At the same time, there are CC powders, the popular pink loose powder products, etc. Um, as well as we know the Soulmate blush powder duos by Charlotte Tilbury, which are great. It's, the classic airbrush powder as a CC shade, so either a bit peachy or a bit pink, with a blush to mix, to blur, to diffuse it a little bit better than when you are working only with a pigmented color blush. So I do like this concept, and I think these transition blush products take it a step further or offer a great alternative to that concept. By it's for me, I expect it to fall right in the middle between a CC powder and a blush that you would blend out your more intense blush shade maybe. So for example, I think something similar Charlotte Tilbury probably already tried to offer with her classic blush swirl and pop blush concept, where you have well, sometimes the middle is a highlighting shade, but usually it was a more intense pop shade in the middle and a softer corresponding shade of blush on the outside. And I usually just swirled them together and wore them like that. But I didn't have a more intense pink one or something like that. However, so that all of that is a similar thing. And I also in the past I used a very, very light brightening blush like the NARS Sex Appeal one. I'm sorry, I didn't find it. I wanted to show it now and actually apply it to show you that I already liked to use it right here under the eyes, because it's also a very blurring formula and it works great for that. Or the I think it's a shade Sandstone by YSL. It's one of the lightest matte blushes and it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's blurring. You can wear it, apply it in the same way. And now I am very interested to have something similar with a tiny bit less pigment but the same blurring properties. So I'm highly intrigued. I'm definitely trying this new transition duo. I saw on Daisy Cash, she also applied this liquid blush thing, which wasn't as exciting to me, but it looked very beautiful and it convinced me that I also really want to try that one. So yeah, and I'm also curious to compare the way this transition blush works it also looked extremely blurring, because the purpose of it is to be applied on the under eyes. So yeah, and by the way, I was scared the transition blush, the liquid one, would be the same formula as the concealer, but it's not at all. So it does not have shea butter, and I will try it, because with shea butter I wouldn't mess around, especially for the under eyes, where when I put on something highly comedogenic, I get these little tiny white bumps, and I don't need that. And hold on a second. And yeah, the powder blush, I thought these little blush duos would be the same formula. They're not at all. That's a completely different formula to, well, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's a different formula than his powder blushes. And they even contain papaya extract. Well, it was papaya and pineapple, I think. So I was wondering, I mean, I don't know how active these really could be in powder form, but I wondered if it's supposed to, that pineapple, papaya have these enzymes. I wondered if they were formulated like that to add a very gentle exfoliating action. I don't know. It's not advertised as such, but I'm just wondering why it's in there. So, however, I'm highly intrigued and very excited to try. Yeah, and I hope you are interested in watching that review. And I'm also very excited and interested in hearing from you, if you would get it, if you already tried it, and yeah, and what you think about this launch. I almost felt kind of bad for him, because the comments were pretty yes, very critical, and I understand where people are coming from. I think it also had to do with this first demo that I watched on his channel. Wasn't really convincing, because it looked just like he could have simply blended the blush better on the model. Well, Daisy Cash also, and this very yellow orange duo, that did not catch my interest at all, because I just expected it to be more appropriate for dark and deep skin tones, but it did transform the actual blush that she applied before to a different shade. So I feel like some of these are also have the ability to transform your blush. Maybe you put in a blush and then you feel like, okay, everything looks a bit too pink, this is not what I wanted, or this was a bad decision. Maybe you can grab a pinker or a more yellow one of these to balance it out. Now, again, you could now argue, well, add some bronzer, add a different type of blush, blah, blah, blah. Sure, you can, but then you have probably more pigment, maybe more body to more layers. These are thinner. These are less pigmented. So I do really see also this color correcting, balancing properties that might come in handy. So I'm excited, and if I'm planning to get just the second lightest shade that is a bit peachy. If I like that one, I would probably reach for the yellow one. Actually, next, I had only the two lightest shade on my radar, but now I kind of like the yellow one very much as well. It did something beautiful in Daisy's video, and yeah, and today I will just apply the shade she's blushing. That one actually did not make me fall in love with this this blush range. It was rather not too much. Not too much is such a nice nude for my complexion, and also the way it went on. So I'm not sure if I will really enjoy it now. I'm not sure if it's only the shade that I don't like as much as not too much, or if it's also a bit about the formula. However, another reason why I enjoyed not too much so much is I don't use this concept of both cream and powder blush. I like the option to have both, and you know, and then I know the color scheme that I have here, and I'm not running around. Wait a second, I'm distracted. So I'm sorry, if I spontaneously want a cream blush or vice versa, a powder blush, I have it in one product. I think, well, during winter now I really prefer cream and liquid products, especially cream products for my dry skin, and the dry and cold air and so on and so forth. So both during winter, I might see myself in a rush needing a powder blush right now, and then I have it in this product. So this is something I really appreciate about this little concept, to spontaneously have a different consistency. And I will just today I will just use the powder side. Oh, what else did I want to discuss? So this is, she's blushing, right? Yeah. Let's drape it a little bit. Oh, and it's finally hot in a very summery way. And do you have the same problem when all of a sudden the temperatures go from 0 to 100? And I mean, as much as I love summertime, and that's what I really could do all year round, just, I don't know, I struggle to break down that mind barrier of needing to wear long pants. It's I Well, yesterday was the first day that it was really hot, and I really struggled to do that transition. So that's another transition, not just a blush transition that's going on, but give me 2 more days and I understand that it's summer, that I have to shave my legs every day, and oh god, I'm so excited for it. Oh, and to be barefoot at home, and it's just bliss, pure bliss. Yesterday we bought a lot of ice cream because there was none in our fridge, and yeah, finished up a whole package real quick. Oh, by the way, that's interesting, because I think I'm gluten intolerant, but I still I don't have issues when I eat, I don't know, spaghetti, or ate pizza every other day, so I'm not having any issues. But when eating, for example, some months ago, I had pasta every day for a week, and then I actually had a bit of uh, burning. You know what I mean? Maybe I just overate. That's also a possibility. But there was actually a time in my life at when I was 16 where I was not able to eat anything with white flour without having serious stomach aches. And even many years later, at 20 something, now this sounds so silly now, but hand in hand with these issues, I was not able to eat Häagen-Dazs ice cream anymore. This sounds really weird because there is no white flour in it. I cannot explain it. These issues did arise when I was in the USA for a year as an exchange student. So I got really bad issues with my congestion, and so still years later I could not eat Häagen-Dazs, and when looking at the ingredients, I did not know why. I still got these very awful stomach aches. And meanwhile, Aldi Süd, the discounter supermarket, they have some knockoff Häagen-Dazs, also my favorite macadamia nut brittle. And I think, well, obviously I didn't have the Häagen-Dazs for years, but I think it tastes quite similar. And I finished the whole 500 mils thing up yesterday. Didn't have any issues. So that is good news, because for years I really avoided it. And yeah, so that is a nice, well, that's a very specific issue, right? But even if you don't have any issues with Häagen-Dazs, you still save a lot of money getting the other one, right? Okay, that's she's blushing. And oh yeah, it looks really nice. It's a beautiful blush formula. Something I did not realize, because I usually was shopping from Cult Beauty, this brand. They do not organize them into matte and satin blush duos, but on his website, where of course I hung out yesterday because of that launch, that's when I realized Cult Beauty kind of missed out on wait, how do you say that? So Cult Beauty missed out on you know what I mean, on these stupid words. Well, they did not inform you about these finishes, about the different ones. And here is right the moment when I'm taking it a bit more up here, like this. There is exactly that spot. There's a bit of a blind spot where I can, blend a bit more, in the sunburned manner up here. But right here, there is a spot that would be stark bright if I finish it off with the powder. I can do it and blend it in, and it's beautiful, but there will still be the transition between the red blush and then some face powder. I mean, I could use a strong pink one. Oh, I actually have a new one by Catrice, because I wanted to see if it's an alternative to the peachy one by Huda, because the Huda one is beautifully fragrance. I like that fragrance, but I cannot put it here because of my dermatitis. Should I get it? However, what I wanted to say is this is where I really see the moment where I would want some CC blush in between to put it here. I can totally, I can absolutely see that purpose and use for that product. So yeah, let me get that powder real quick. All right, this is it, Bright and Blur by Catrice. And you know, please don't run away just because I'm showing some drugstore products. I just know that so many formulas are quite comparable to what they sell us at the drugstore. I really appreciate it when the product is more wait, how do you say that? Second. So yeah, I happily pay more when there is consciousness behind it. Some things that are just more expensive. But you know, when, for example, when Hourglass sells us this made in China brush, then there is just a whole different margin involved, right? So I'm not so snobby about these drugstore products, and but I would say I really appreciate it when Catrice and Essence had many of these produced in Europe just for better working conditions involved. So yeah, that's something I absolutely prefer. And I'm scared to look right now because lately they, oh yes, that's made in Poland. Oh, thank goodness. Yes, so there you go. And you know, it's still, I don't know what this is, 4 or 5 euros. It's, first of all, I think it's great for people that are very budget conscious, or let's say very budget dependent. Also for that category of audience to see that it's more a choice that you make than something you are locked out of some luxury experience. Yes, there are products that do deliver what you pay for, at least to some extent. Most of it, of course, is just an idea. Most of it. So it's still 50% just experience and illusion, and 50% then you might have better ingredients. But I always check these things, so I know that we pay many brands and products way overpriced, and it's just and it's not actually for the product quality itself. So that's just my my mentality behind this. So I happily try and use drugstore products, especially when they're intriguing and promising to offer something that that I'm in the market for. And here, well, one thing I also have to say, I'm sorry, but I think the new Huda brand logo is not my thing. Let's keep it nice. It's not my thing, and I even think this is so much more beautiful. But you know, the main reason is the fragrance in it. And here it's a soft peachy shade, and you know, from experience. I'm already excited to smell that nice Huda smell right now, even though I specifically bought this to avoid it. Isn't that funny? But you know, I like it, but it's not great for the more sensitive areas on my face. Okay, now this is a little bit messy. Let me get a brush. Whoop. And you know, to really put it to the test, I will do one side with a puff and one side I will do here. Let me clean up real quick. You know, this brush, it's very soft. It's by Clinique, and I think they are about to discontinue these wooden handle ones. But this is such a nice shape to powder your under eyes, or even here it fits perfectly. Now, since this is my worst side with more darkness, I will use the puff for these two, and I will go in like this. Oop, hold on. I actually want to do this. I will just go like this and like this, but I want to do it in front of the mirror to tell you what it looks like. All right, it's a normal amount of blurring, and you see this packaging. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I remember correctly. Is this like the original Huda packaging? I'm not sure right now. I will have to try this side by side with the Huda to really tell, but you know, this soft peach shade is rather translucent, so yet another reason to, I mean, the cherry pie or cherry blossom or whatever by Huda, it packs a punch. It applies quite a bit of rosiness, but these peachier shades are quite translucent. I will have to try next to the Huda, and I will have to try these side by side with this Peachy Duo by Patrick Ta. Yes. All right. Anything else? No, I think that's enough for now. So, is there anything? Let me think about a not beauty related recommendation. Hold on. Oh yes, I know. My favorite, what is it? Well, actually, May favorites. It's already time for that. Well, is this my May favorites? The Clinique eyeliner, and I don't know. Well, one non-beauty favorite is definitely playing chess. I really enjoyed it this past month to play chess with my son. Especially there were a lot of exams, and you know, when you have to stay focused and study, it's not a great idea to then feed your head something very flashy and lazy. It's nice to then relax and have fun, but with something stimulating, you know what I mean? And it was just so much fun. And on Friday we played 3 times in a row, and he won all 3 times. But it was hilarious. It was so much fun, and I love it. And yeah, I'm actually quite motivated to look a bit further into it, and maybe now that he will spend some holiday time with his father as well, I have to do my homework as well, and maybe look into some nice killer moves to, you know, to motivate him to get better as well. So that is my absolute favorite. And what else? What else? I think there was something else. Oh, something very, very important. In case you also watched or are going to watch the other video about the concealers, I will do a summary on that topic to, you know, a designated video so people can find that video as well, who are interested in these concealers. But going through my concealers, I also noticed that this NYX Serum Concealer was actually a favorite of mine some years ago, and then yeah, I remember I took this on vacation, and all of a sudden this the deepest one looked very white on me. So I then, of course, I got home, grabbed something different, and then somehow it's always just a change of your complexion shade where you lose an amazing product out of sight. And listen, this serum concealer by NYX, I think I have to stock up on it because it's incredible. And I had some horrendous skin days this month. Now let me give you also the voodoo explanation to it. There were 2 new moons or something like that, and honestly, I did feel like crap for a very long time. And you know, with my PMS, and is it called the luteal phase, when you feel like trash and look like trash? However, also horrible skin days. And this was when I hesitated. I thought, should I use the Dolce & Gabbana to cover that crap up? But then I just used this with my fingers in the way I usually would wear my Jolly Tilbury foundation. This has more coverage, and you know, the Dolce & Gabbana Cushion Foundation is also amazing, but nothing is as heavy duty as this one, while simultaneously retaining a very nice natural finish even on my dry skin. This is incredible. It also, in this high coverage while giving such a natural finish, it also reminds me very much of the Sisley concealer. Hold on, I have to show this guy. This Sisley concealer it's amazing. It's incredible. I have it in shade 1, so that's a very, very brightening and very pink shade for me. Now you probably would